Tonight, the public's been invited to share its thoughts with state government officials and representatives for Duke Energy. Duke, the sole producer of electricity for the upstate, is requesting a 15% overall increase in rates, with the majority of this burden being placed upon individual private residents.
Then we had 25,000 families and individuals who all qualify for service by meeting the poverty income level, so they're already low income. And of that 25,000, 80% again are children, the elderly, and the disabled. So those who are in most need. So even after they qualify, we still have federal and state restrictions, which allow us to only help them one time per year. So you have to provide income. It has to be on an emergency basis. And when you define emergency, again, it has to meet those statutes. So in order to receive our services, you have to jump through many hoops.
You were talking about the number of people you share serves
Right.
This past year.
Right. In 2012, we served over 25,000 families and individuals between Greenville, Anderson, Pickens, and Oconee. And as I stated, 80% of that amount were children, the elderly, and the disabled. And again, this rate increase will hit those the hardest. It's one thing when you have families who just falling on hard times who need help. When you have those who have a fixed income or are going to need certain medical treatments all year long, it becomes difficult to provide those services as rates continue to go up. And it's one thing if rates go up because they have to pay for improvements or they have to pay for more efficiency, but the investments they claim to have made haven't resulted in lower prices, haven't resulted in more efficient service, haven't resulted in the benefit of the customer. So the public is being asked to cover for what seems to be business decisions that have not paid off yet.
The Public Service Commission has received over 1,600 letters of protests. It appears that many voices in the upstate are crying out in opposition to this obscene request.
Y'all agree with me, and please let the commission know that they should not get 1% more than any of us on fixed incomes and veterans benefits and the working poor. The man that shared back there, he forgot to mention it. We got working poor. We got people working for a living. It still needs assistance.
All these has nothing to do with generating electricity. And then their shareholder commercials, more money expended to try and convince us that they're doing the right things. They're doing what's good for us. No, they're not. And to be honest with you, listening to another man testify, a stockholder, he wasn't happy either. So the stockholders are not getting what they think they're getting either.
This is going to be the third utilities campaign that we've focused on here in South Carolina. We've taken on Duke twice, and now we took SCNG on last fall in the Columbia, Charleston, Beaufort area, and just seeing that these absurd rate increases that these utility companies are going after, asking the Public Service Commission for, and asking the public to pay for additional dollars for utility service, and it's just absurd.
How does this rate increase actually affect your membership?
Well, when you look at a 16.3 rate increase and it's almost $18 a month at $200 a year, over $200 a year, what could somebody do with $200? That's 10 drug co-payments at $10 a piece. That's groceries on the table for a month. That's rent. That's spendable income, disposable income. And it's money out of their pockets. When you look at seniors, especially folks who depend on Social Security only as a retirement income, and in South Carolina, it's such a large number of folks that do that. Looking at a 1.6 COLA increase last year, when the cost of living, the yo-yoing price of gas is just absurd. It kind of wreaks havoc on someone's budget.
We're hearing all kinds of reasons why Duke shouldn't get this increase. Just to give us briefly why they should.
Well, the bottom line is we've invested billions of dollars in capital improvements to both generation facilities and distribution facilities. It's really the brick and mortar, steel in the ground stuff that makes our product reliable, efficient, and ever cleaner, and is there whenever our customers want it and need it. And so the process in South Carolina is we build it, then we come back and ask to be paid for it. So that's what we're doing with this. The numbers that are out there, the proposal that we have, we feel is a fair proposal to compensate us for the investments we've made. And we hope that the Public Service Commission does a good job with evaluating all the testimony they're hearing tonight, all the testimony that's been submitted, and comes up with a fair decision.
Well, let me just ask one question that my listeners have been asking, because they're saying you're asking for a 16 or 15% increase.
Average.
Average across the board. And you're saying that you needed to recoup money, and then they look at the profit for Duke, for example, for the first quarter of this year, which doubled last year, and it was over, what, 600 million?
I don't know the number.
Their question is, if you have this much profit, why are you asking for more money from the user?
So a lot of that is the difference between what we receive in customer rates versus what we receive from shareholders. And so again, the process we receive from shareholders. Shareholders invest in our company because we manage our money in a wise way. We run our business in an efficient manner, and so that gives them an efficient return on their investment so they can keep giving us the money that we need to build things, but that doesn't pay for everything. So we also have to make sure that our rates, while they still remain competitive, both nationally and especially in the Southeast, are comparable to what we need to get back from our investments into capital and structure.
One of the things I spoke outside the Duke shareholders meeting in Charlotte in May on behalf of on behalf of ARP at a news conference, and what really struck me is when I got back to Columbia was I received my Duke Energy Performing Arts series from the Charlotte Performing Arts Group, and I'm sitting here we've just protested about the rising costs of utilities in the Carolinas, and I've gotten a Broadway show series sponsored by Duke Energy, and I'm like, how ironic was that the mail came, and one of our volunteers alerted us over the weekend saying that Duke had just given, the foundation had just given millions of dollars to community organizations. I mean, we know that community organizations need dollars to survive in this economy, but knowing someone, and I've done grassroots fundraising before, you still have to fundraise. Just because they're giving you money, it's almost like a pay to play. We're going to give you a check as long as you won't complain about our rate increases. And we kind of heard one of those speakers this evening on first at bat, as we call it.
So that just gives you an idea that common sense, where Duke Power is concerned, is meaningless. And in turn, they changed their logo, every letterhead on your power bill, every truck, every building. That costs millions of dollars.
Section 5827.810 of the South Carolina Code of Laws states that every rate made, demanded, or received by any electrical utility shall be just and reasonable. Further, it is the mandate of the Public Service Commission to determine whether or not the proposed rate increases meet the specification that rates are just and reasonable. This directive is made doubly important as electric consumers are unable to look to other electric utility providers in an effort to find competitive rates due to state law, and therefore are subject to pay whatever rates are determined just and reasonable by your commission.
Let your voice be heard. Share this with your friends and neighbors, and let us know what you think by leaving a comment or video response. You can also tweet to us at @BeAnotherVoice, or can visit our website at canIGetAWordIn.com. For Another Voice, I'm Eric Wood.